In these verses, Paul talks about having God's laws written on our hearts. And in Galatians 5:22-23, he says, "Against such things there is no law." Now, what does that mean in today's terms, and how can we apply it to our lives? Well, when Paul talks about God's laws being written on our hearts, he is describing an inner transformation. This is more than just following a set of rules. It is about living in a way that reflects God's will for us, because our hearts and minds are being shaped by Him. Now, instead of obeying out of fear, or worse, out of obligation, we live by love. For instance, no one has to tell you not to lie if you have made honesty a core part of who you are. Your choices flow naturally from the transformation God has worked in your heart. Now, Paul goes on to list the fruit of the Spirit, meaning love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And then he goes on to say, "Against such things there is no law." And Paul is absolutely right. I mean, have you seen any laws that mandate, I quote, "You shall be kind to others"? Now, in fact, if we all live by these qualities, laws wouldn't even be necessary, because the Spirit-led life naturally leads us to do what is right. So how does this look in our world today? It's about saying, what does love require of me? That's it. In every situation. Take workplace relationships, for instance. Instead of just being politically polite, let the Spirit lead us to deeper, to show genuine kindness, forgive freely, and love unconditionally, even when people don't deserve it. Living by the Spirit frees us from focusing on external behaviors, and it shifts our attentions to our internal character instead. It's not just about avoiding bad behavior, but becoming the kind of person who naturally chooses what is good, what is loving, and what's right. And that's what makes this way of living so powerful. And Jesus summed it up perfectly, and I quote, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself," unquote. This is seen in Matthew chapter 22, 37-40. And when we live by the Spirit and let God's law take root in our hearts, love becomes our guiding principle. And against love, against patience, against kindness, there is no law. It's a freedom that transforms us and the world around us, one choice at a time. Amen.